So this might get a little jumpy. They're unloading the truck. Oh yeah, it's gonna be jumpy. Yeah, y'all missed everything I was saying, man. Yeah, you missed everything I was saying. Well, you'll see the footage, but watch out, buddy. Watch out, buddy. I had a little... I want to look at this light. I had a little road rage incident going on. The guy called the company, said that I was weaving, said that I was swerving, and I thought he was gonna make up something more elaborate than that. I mean, I'm glad he didn't, because that's easy right there with the footage I got. Because if I'm swerving, he said, I don't know what's wrong with him. He's swerving all over the place. So here's the problem with his argument, is if I'm swerving like that, why would you ride beside me? And that's what I got, is footage of him riding beside me. So obviously I couldn't be swerving but so much if he's gonna sit there and ride beside me, right? And he said we were in South Carolina. Well, we started in Georgia. Now he harassed me all the way into South Carolina. And here's probably what happened. Giving him the benefit of the doubt is that when he was coming up on me, then in the left lane, I was probably blocking his line of sight from the right lane. And in the right lane, what happened was a truck pulled off the shoulder into the street. Sit down. With the camper, pulling the camper. So what happened was, let me take this thing off. Now, my company, Eddie, he said that the guy said he was an off-duty police officer. My first thought was he was probably a lawyer or something, but could have been an off-duty police officer, I don't know. Okay, so he tried to shoot the gap on the right. He couldn't do it because the reason I got in the left lane, because the camper pulled onto the highway, which means he wasn't traveling at highway speed. So he had to slow down, wait for me to pass the camper, and get back over, and then come around on the left. Now, you know how that goes. He probably was pissed off that he had to slow down. He was probably pissed off because he couldn't shoot the gap like he wanted to, and had to come back by me again on the left. He might have been embarrassed. He might have, I mean, I don't know what emotions he went through, but anyway, it didn't go down the way he wanted to. When I looked to the left, like, what are you doing? Why you don't come on by, clown? He's in such a big hurry. Then he's sitting over there beside me with recording. So I said, okay, you want to record? Well, actually, for a minute, I was like, I just kept looking at him. And then I said, what am I doing? Because I was just going to wait to shoot footage when he go in front of me. I was like, nah, I probably need to go ahead and capture some of this footage right here. Ain't no telling what he do. I mean, he might pull out a pistol or something and shoot me. At least I capture that. And so I reached back there. Luckily, I had this thing on my, just like you just saw it. I had the body strap on. Well, I showed y'all when I moved the truck. And so I reached back there, grabbed that, hit the button. Hopefully, I got some footage. I hadn't looked yet. And I recorded him recording me. So that's what really happened. But he told them that I was swerving. So now, several things here. One, if I was swerving, why are you sitting there riding beside me? Wouldn't it be dangerous for you to be riding beside me recording if I'm swerving all over the place? That's one. Two, we wasn't in Georgia. I mean, South Carolina, we were in Georgia. Three, well, that's it. I mean, that's it as far as his argument. Oh, if I was swerving so erratically, then he wouldn't be the only one that called you know, somebody else probably would have called as well. And he probably would have called. I mean, why would you just call the company? You will call if it wasn't more of a premeditated thing, like I'm gonna get this dude in trouble, something, have him pulled over at the scale. Why wouldn't you call a police officer right then and there and say, look, this dude out here drunk, high, something, swerving, you know, come get him, so that they can check me out immediately. In other words, if I was such a threat, why you didn't call the police instead of talking about calling the DOT way ahead? Because he didn't call South Carolina. I went through that scale. I went through North Carolina, nothing happened. So even if he did call, maybe he did call, but nah, if I'm swerving like that, then why would you just call the DOT? Your intention is to try to get me in trouble, not really concerned for safety because I was swerving. Else you would have called the police immediately. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, yeah, I want to give a guy the benefit of the doubt. When I think about it, he might have actually thought I was swerving, because it was a slight curve. He was in the left lane, I was in the right lane, and that guy was on the shoulder, and I might have been in his line of sight, or he might not have been paying attention or looking far enough ahead, you know. And so he might have not seen that guy pull off the shoulder in front of me. And he might have just thought, after the fact though. But anyway, at the time, he might have just thought I pulled over there in the left lane. Maybe he just didn't really think about it. Let me say this, sir. Think about what I'm saying as I explain this, and then you probably will see the light, if you haven't already after cooling down. But he probably just said, boom, why is this guy getting in the left lane? He's just trying to slow me down. What happened though is that he got in the right lane when he got up on me. And when he got in the right lane, like I said, the guy pulled off the shoulder. And so apparently he didn't realize how slow the guy was going. He wanted to shoot the gap. I don't know what stage he saw that guy with the camper in the right lane, but he called himself going to shoot the gap. And of course, he didn't have no time to shoot the gap. So he had to slow down, wait till I get out of the left lane, and then get back in the left lane, and then he had to wait until I get out of the left lane and come back by me on the left side. Well, that probably ruined all of his plans, and he probably didn't like the idea that he had to slow down, and that he couldn't get by on the right, and that he had to slow down and come back around on the left. So when I look back on the left, like, yo, what are you doing? Why you ain't coming on by? He riding beside me with the video, and that's probably, I'm going to show you right now, the video. I'm not going to show his plate. I don't think I have his face anyway, but I'm not going to show his face. And because I think he's going to realize that he just made a mistake. He overreacted. But yeah, so he might have thought I was actually swerving. He just might not have actually thought. I think he probably just he was mad. He definitely had road rage, because we started in Georgia. When he called the company, he said that we was in South Carolina. No, he harassed me all the way to South Carolina, and he rode in front of me. Then he fell back, and he came back beside me. Then he pulled up, and then he came back beside me. Then he fell back behind me again, which I thought he was back there long enough to get the number and everything first. But apparently he went back there, got the number and everything again. And then he came beside me, recorded some more footage. Now, eventually, as you see, I recorded some footage, but he rode beside me a while before I ever decided to pick up this camera that you're watching, because I thought I was recording him on the front camera. Well, I decided not to pick up this camera that I'm talking to right now because I had the front one, and I hit the button to record on the front one. But actually, what I did was I turned it off because it was already recording, so I didn't get any of that footage. But so that's how it pretty much went down, man. I pulled in the left lane because somebody pulled off the shoulder. He was coming up on me. He had to get in the right lane to get he didn't have to. He got in the right lane to try to shoot the gap Well, he probably got in the right lane thinking he was going to come around me on the right because he thought I just got in the left lane for nothing, I guess. He saw that, he tried to shoot the gap when he eventually saw that there was something in the right lane that I was passing. He couldn't do that because that vehicle was going too slow and the gap closed up too quickly. He had to slow down, wait for me to get by, come back in the left lane and come around. So he done got road rage is what he did. But sir, in case when you first think about it, it don't make sense. I asked you just to pause for a second to think about it, but I think you come to your senses. But let me show you this. This is 2002 Company Driver of the Year. This is 2005 Owner Operator of the Year. And I mean, that doesn't mean I can't make mistakes. It doesn't mean that I'm perfect. It doesn't mean I'm the best driver out there. It just means that I did something right to win those Driver of the Year awards. And, you know, it's a combination of skills, work ethic, attitude, and, you know, a combination of different things that made me Driver of the Year. And my only point to that is you might be resistant to believing or processing what occurred as I explained it, even though I'm trying to give you the benefit of the doubt. I'm trying to help justify the way you perceived it. But when you look at the factors like I explained it, when you look back and you see what happened, the vehicle was in the right lane. You saw that you couldn't shoot the gap, which means the vehicle was apparently going slow. So the vehicle pulled off the shoulder. You might not have seen it. Then that's why I was in the left lane. It wasn't to hold you up or nothing like that. I didn't get in the left lane to slow you down or nothing like that. The vehicle pulled out in the right lane. You was back far enough that I can get in the left lane. I don't know how fast you was going, but you didn't slam into me. So obviously, you know, I wasn't going 30 and you wasn't going 130. But I was going 67. And so unless you were speeding excessively, I couldn't have been holding you up so much. You see what I'm saying? But like I said, if that alone don't help you to see what really happened as opposed to what you thought happened, then just seeing that I am professional enough so that I would get those trophies might give me a little more credibility in your eyes so that you can see that it's probably not the way you thought you saw it or processed it, and that it's more likely, or at least possible, the way I'm explaining it. Again, I'm really trying to help you out, not so you don't look like a complete lunatic full of rage. And you know, now we don't know you, probably never see you again, hear nothing from you, maybe, but you have to reflect on your own behavior and your own thoughts and your own actions, because you got to think about, is this a one-time thing where whatever occurred prior to this, and because I processed it in such a negative way that I reacted like that as opposed to overreacting? If this is a one-off, that's one thing. But if you can reflect on your habits and determine that this is actually an issue with you, and you have road rage, you overreact like that all the time, it's easy for traffic to get you that way, then you probably have anger management issues. And it's something that would benefit you by getting checked out, or working through at least. If you don't get it checked out, then just work through it yourself, because the reality is that you're gonna have too many opportunities in life for things like that to bother you and get to you. I mean, there might even be people who intentionally do things to you, and if you mess around and overreact like that, then you can mess around and get yourself into some trouble. I started to pull over, and I don't know if you would have pulled over. I imagine you probably would have pulled over as well. I started to pull over, but I was like, nah, I'm trying to get over here to this delivery spot. But yeah, that's what happened, man. That's what happened. So again, I apologize for causing you inconvenience, and I hope you had a great day after all that was over with. And if I see you again, hopefully it'll be on better terms. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too, man.
Yes, sir.
And now it's time for me to G-O.